And to the ABC store, Catherine Jim. Here's to opening presents a month later for turning 50. Just kidding, it's water. I just did an entire video and my webcam was set to picture. But I was funny. You missed it, you missed it. Okay. Now I gotta do this all over again. Alright, first up, went out, took my money and went to a used clothing store and got a better chair system for $20. But there was a little girl, 3.5, maybe 4 years old. Cute. She came right up to me. She remembers. I hadn't seen her since before December. Anyway, my friend wasn't there. The other side people, Tammy, took over, and it was her child. She doesn't like me. Her daughter does. I told her how to say excuse me because I was talking to somebody, and she did. And then she was eating, and I had asked her if she wanted to show me around. And she said, well, I'm eating. And I said, then you say, excuse me. You get to say, excuse me now. Say, excuse me, I'm eating now. So, all right. Why we stay the same. Why it's hard for us to change. I'm going to work it. It has to do with the amygdala, all components of the brain and chemistry. Your uptakes, your serotonins, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to do it with coffee and 3 Oreo cookies every morning. So you have 3 Oreo cookies every morning. Your chemistry, your whole body understands this pattern. So come spring, if you're in a colder state, pants got a little tighter as we all bulk up a little for the winter to get our bare blubber on to keep a little warmer. And we're trying to shed that 10 whatever pounds. We stop those 3 Oreo cookies. We become irritable, snappy, crabby, and we might not even associate that our body was addicted to that sugar and threw our whole balance off. Diabetics understand this very well. They have to pay attention to their sugar. Average people don't understand sometimes that 1 cup of coffee you're not allowed to drink for a blood test the next morning. I do. I put sweet low in it. I ain't going without my coffee, and I'm a medic, and I knows how to. And plus, I have to anyway. My blood pressure is deadly low. Every time I was in the psych unit, my blood pressure was so low. I was the only one in psych units. You used to be able to smoke inside watching TV. I was the only one who had to take coffee in the mornings. Otherwise, I was the living dead. Anywho. So your body becomes irritable. It wants that coffee, that you have a pattern, and it relates to the rest of the body. Ergo, trauma. You're going through trauma. There are chemistries going on inside of you that relate to the body. So changing our patterns, because muscle has memory, and those changes affect the brains, the neurons and everything, go up and down, up and down. After trauma, trying to get back to normal is a fight. It's an internal fight until we pass that threshold. No, we're not going to surpass and win. Yay, I'm the victor. I've always had a string of hope for trying to fix myself. Sarge always said at the end of every single conversation, because at the end I'd be like, can I pretend it was a dream? Can I pretend it was a dream? It was just a movie. It was just a movie, I'd say rather. Wolf, yes, Sarge, I know it really happened. He had evidence. He found all the weapons I buried. Why do you care? Because I didn't want somebody digging up and poor young kid on a cat digging up the surface because I hid well. And ba-boom, there goes the pineapple and him. But there were many, so there would be more than one going on. So this is why it is also hard for us to change into a newer pattern that's healthier for us. So say you're always dating the same kind of person and it is always failing. I took a large amount of pills, and sometimes I do it in a flashback, night stalking, and not even aware of what I'm doing. They knew the drug. I was in the ER, and I said, because it was already in my system for so long, and I said, it was in the Poland spring water. The seal was open. Because, so 2 months later, I finally, like the social worker, I was maybe 26, 27, Howard. And I said, Howard, if I tell you what I did, would you have to write it in my report? And he says, Donna, you know I did. As a matter of fact, that's the first time I met Sarge in person. He came up, he said, I thought you were big and fat. So why would you think I was anything? Why would you conjure up any kind of image of me? His voice would just lull me. After a while, all I needed to do was hear his voice, and off that rough road of the past, and a new clearing would come into view, and the adrenaline would, I wanted to get somebody. I was on the warpath. Anyway. So changing, oh, Howard. So, I told him, every time I go past the nurse's station, I think everybody looks at me and says, she's faking. She just wants attention. And he said, Donna, do you know why you're here? It's because you won't say what you took. Stubborn, daggone Native American. I've done the silent thing. That got me in a psych unit at 15 from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. After my dad died. Funeral present, right to the psych unit. I'm a second husband who wanted me. Said, she's my daughter. She's coming home. Well, that's it. No talking. Self-coma is what they called it. I was just making a stance. Okay. So he said, Donna, whose words are they? And right away, my mother. He said, Donna, you're not faking. So finally I told him what I took. He said, Donna, that would have killed a horse. And I went, oh boy, did I walk into that psych's room after I found out what he did with some of the other patients. I'm in the right place. You play with those people again, I'll kill you. Dr. Melnick. Melnick? I called him Mr. Melnick. Anyway, staff loved me after that. So now, when we're going on into these relationships, I know this is getting long. I don't care. I didn't have sleep. You're just going to have to deal with me. We're actually imitating someone of our past. Whether it's a better version, but it still leads us in the spiral of depression and stress because those main ingredients are still there. So understand, changing is going to be like walking off a cliff. We are unfamiliar. Our bodies and brains are patterned to do that uncomfortably, but set. Comfortable in our own war zone. We have to take those extra steps to get out of that. Now, I hope that babbling helped. As I was passing the lumber yard, a poor guy yelled at. He had this big, huge thing. He's carrying something in a big, long box. Should I put it in the back seat? I screamed out, what did you say about my back seat? And then two guys started laughing, and I just cracked up from being like, oh, I'm exhausted. I can't help it. I hear something and I have to respond. 12 minutes and 45 seconds. Tally ho. Hope it helped. Ciao. I'll see you later. Hasta la vista, baby.